So students, we have discussed etiological factors and clinical feature of gastric carcinoma. Clinical features we have already discussed. So now how to diagnose gastric carcinoma. For diagnosis of gastric carcinoma, as usual, you have to take a proper clinical history, proper clinical examination. Anyone above 40 years of age with new onset dyspepsia, with anemia, weight loss, anorexia and all, these should merit an upper GI endoscopy. Okay, so upper GI endoscopy is the gold standard for diagnosing carcinoma stomach. Video endoscope, we can visualize the whole esophagus, stomach and duodenum, and you can see if there is an ulcer with an elevated margin, rolled out margin, large ulcers, those on the greater curvature, are very suspicious of CS stomach. We take multiple biopsies, 6, 7 biopsies, sometimes 10 biopsies are taken from the edges and sent for biopsy. So this will not only, you can see the malignancy and also you can get a tissue for biopsy. You can get CT done. Contrast enhanced CT scan will tell you about the presence of malignancy in the stomach. It can also tell you about mets present in the liver or in the ascites, any lump present. So CT will tell you about the that there is suspicious mass in the stomach, or if there is liver mets, ascites, carcinoma peritoni, or if there is chest mets. So you get a CT, abdomen, pelvis and chest in these cases. Okay, PET CT, where positron emission tomography combined with CT scan, where 5-fluorodeoxyglucose is given, fluorodeoxyglucose is given IV, and its increased uptake suggests malignant cells. So you can do a PET CT scan of whole body and we can see where the mets are. Okay, so these are the ways of investigating a patient with CS stomach. And of course we will do other routine tests like CBC, LFT, RFT and all. Okay, so once you have done all these tests, you have to stage gastric carcinoma. So how do we stage gastric carcinoma? Using, that's the same TNM staging we do. Here the T1 is tumor localized to mucosa, submucosa. If it is penetrated only up to submucosa, it is T1. If it has gone up to muscularis propria, it is T2. If it has gone up till serosa, it is T3. If it has penetrated serosa or it has involved adjacent organ, it is T4. Okay, N0 no lymph node, N1 is 1 to 2 lymph nodes involved, N2 is 3 to 6 perigastric lymph nodes involved, and N3 is 7 to 15 lymph nodes involved. Okay, then M0 no mets, M1 is mets. Okay, carcinoma peritoni, ascites is also taken as mets, metastasis. So this is TNM staging. Histologically, you know the carcinoma stomach is adenocarcinoma, isn't it? Adenocarcinoma, and histological classification is given by Lauren, that is intestinal type and diffuse type. Intestinal type resembles the intestinal pattern of the GI tract. It's usually localized and has got relatively good prognosis. Whereas diffuse is spreads in the submucosa. It has poor prognosis. It occurs in earlier age group of patient. Okay, so this is two Lawrence classification, intestinal type and diffuse type. See, there is one term called early gastric cancer. Early gastric cancer are those gastric cancer which are limited to mucosa, submucosa, with or without lymph node involvement. Okay, so if CS stomach is limited till submucosa, and whether it has involved lymph node or not involved lymph node, we will call it early gastric cancer. When it has gone beyond that, means it has gone to muscular dysproportia serosa, we will call it advanced gastric carcinoma. Advanced gastric carcinoma is classified morphologically by Borman, B-O-R-M-A-N, Borman's classification, whereas where type 1 is cauliflower-like mass, polypoidal mass you will see, that is type 1. Type 2 is ulcerative lesion with elevated margin, this is type 2. Ulcerative lesion with diffuse margin, this is type 3. Then diffuse is type 4, that is linitis plastica. Okay, so these 4 are morphological or classification of advanced gastric carcinoma, macroscopic classification of advanced gastric carcinoma. So you have early gastric cancer, you have advanced gastric cancer, you know the TNM staging of gastric cancer. Okay, so once you have staged the gastric cancer, then we'll go for treatment. The treatment of gastric carcinoma basically is surgical. Very small tumor limited to mucosa, submucosa, no lymph node involvement, can have submucosal resection, endoscopic submucosal resection. But otherwise we do, because gastric carcinoma are usually diagnosed in advanced stage. Even in Western countries, it is detected in advanced stage. So what we do, if growth is limited, suppose growth is in the antrum, then we will do a surgery called radical subtotal gastrectomy. In radical subtotal gastrectomy, what we do, we remove up to 1 to 2 centimeter of first part of duodenum, antrum, at least 5 centimeter proximal to the tumor, all the lesser curvature, greater curvature, and perigastric lymph nodes, N1 lymph node at least. See, the perigastric lymph nodes have been stationed. 1 to 7 lymph nodes are perigastric, we call. Perigastric means the lymph node situated on the lesser curvature, left paracardial, on the right side, right suprapyloric, right infrapyloric, left pericardial. These are the lymph nodes, perigastric lymph nodes, called N1 nodes also. N2 nodes will be nodes along the major arterial trunk. What are the arterial trunks here? Left gastric, celiac, hepatic, splenic. So lymph nodes along these arteries are called N2 nodes. So once we remove N2 nodes, the dissection is called D2 resection. Okay, and if you remove only N1 nodes, we call it D1 resection. Okay, so these days D2 resection is recommended. Okay, so you do a radical subtotal gastrectomy with D2 resection. Means you remove the lymph node along the major vessels also. Okay. Suppose the tumor is located more proximally in the body or in the fundus, then we will distally we will take 1 centimeter of duodenum, but proximally again you have to take 5 centimeter proximal to the macroscopic margin of tumor. So in this case you will have to do a total gastrectomy, that is radical total gastrectomy. In this case you will remove whole of a stomach, 1 centimeter of duodenum, all the lesser omentum, greater omentum, perigastric lymph node, and also lymph node along the major vessel trunk, that is N2 lymph nodes, and this is called radical total gastrectomy with D2 lymphadenectomy. Okay, of course we will want to preserve spleen and pancreas, because removing spleen and pancreas increases mortality and morbidity, so we want to preserve it. So growth in the antrum, we will do radical subtotal lymphadenectomy with either D1 resection or D2 resection, meaning thereby that either you remove N1 nodes or you remove N1 and N2 nodes both. More proximal lesion, we will do radical total gastrectomy, that is whole of the stomach with lesser omentum, greater omentum, N1 nodes and also N2 nodes. Okay. So this is the treatment for. Then once you have done the resection, you will have to bring a loop of jejunum to anastomose with the remnant part of the stomach. That is called gastrojejunectomy or Billroth 2 anastomosis. Okay. So this is how we treat carcinoma stomach. Sometimes carcinoma stomach is too advanced, when then operation is not possible, like if distant metastasis has occurred, liver is grossly involved, carcinoma peritoni, ascites, and distant metastasis is there, then these patients cannot be subjected to radical surgery, because there is no gain by doing that major operation in these patients. Okay. So what we do sometimes in advanced cases, we give adjuvant radiotherapy and adjuvant chemotherapy. That is, after surgery we give radiotherapy to the tumor bed, and also chemotherapy, cisplatin 5-FU, especially 5-fluorouracil based chemotherapy is given as an adjuvant. Okay, palliative treatment can be like obstruction is there and cannot remove the tumor, then a bypass gastrojejunostomy can be done, a simple stenting can be done to bypass. So these are the palliative measures for CS tumor. Okay, thank you.